Hey everyone, how you guys doing out there?
Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. It's Eminem, Mel and Murph to be specific.
Fitnfunds.
Fitnfunds. But we are just happy to be back, you guys. And today's episode is about talking about student loans and how much me and Mel came into the relationship with, and to answer some questions. But first, we will talk about the student loans aspect of how much we both came into the relationship with. And I'll let Mel start.
Yes, so for those of you that are new following our journey, we had $229K total debt. That was all consumer debt, all student loan debt. So over half of that $229K was my student loans, you guys, which is outrageous.
Yeah.
But I took out 5 private student loans back in 2006, between 2006 and 2008. And I put those back in forbearance. Those were about, with interest, about $73,000 because they were in forbearance for about 5-6 years. After I did my undergrad, I took out an additional $30,000, which ended up being over $40,000 with interest for a credential program. So all of that added up to over
About
$113,000 worth of student loan debt. So I feel you all.
Yeah. And for me, you guys, I had a little tiny bit of that student loan debt coming in. Mine was about $12,000 or $13,000 in student loan debt. But as we mentioned in a lot of our posts before, so we went into this relationship knowing that our debt was our debt. But so with that said, you guys, I think we had a few questions that Mel.
So I did a poll like a couple weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, and asked you all what your questions were about your student loans. So we wrote them here out on a few index cards.
Yes.
We want to go through those quickly and answer some of your questions. So the first question is there a way to get federal loans lowered?
That question is a good question, right? So how that works, you guys, so federal loans get it lowered. So the only thing I can think about in that question is, of course there is, you paying it off, you guys making payments. In regards to federal loans, so keep in mind, you guys, the federal government, they have complete control over this aspect of loans. Like, you can't really negotiate the balance. You can consolidate specific loans. You can maybe negotiate different fees that's taxed on to your federal loans if it's in forbearance for a long time that you haven't paid. Those different aspects you can, but in regards to actually lowering the federal loan balance, principal balance, it's almost impossible to do that. So just wanted to make sure you guys know that.
And the second question is,
were your private loans to a school or a bank?
yes, both of my, well, actually all of my student loans were to a bank.
Yes, and mine was too. Mine was also to a bank.
That's a good question.
Yes, it is.
Is it best to consolidate loans?
Another good question, you guys. So
Actually, we got this one a few times.
we did. So in the best scenario in regards to getting student loans consolidated, so it only makes sense if you can get a better interest rate aggregately. So when I say that, let's say you have 5 student loans and the aggregate interest rate is about 6%, and then you have a company that offers a consolidation contractual term of 3%, right? So that's a 3% spread that you can actually save by consolidating your debt into that company's structure. And in that regards, I would say absolutely, for sure. But it doesn't stop there, you guys, because you are still in need to pay off that debt as fast as possible. So that would be the only scenario I would say, or we would say, that would make sense. If you can save money on your interest rate aggregately on your only student loans, yes, by God means, make it happen. So,
All right.
Third one.
Great question. Number 3. Anything we can do about that insane interest when we put loans in forbearance? Unfortunately, not. I'm one that burned, exhausted every forbearance until they were calling me saying, you ain't got nothing left, girl.
No more forbearance.
So, and little did we know, all that large interest rate was accumulating over time.
Yeah, so you guys, so for forbearance, that's basically you delaying payments, right, on your loans. So your student loans. And what happens when you do that, you guys, is called capitalization. And what that means is that the compound interest is now working against you. So you guys got to make sure that when you put things on forbearance, student loans in forbearance, the loans are going to accrue more interest and then compound every year, working against you. So that is why your loan grows so much over the year, because of the capitalization of the interest that's compounding on a yearly basis.
This next question is not exactly student loan related, but it's a really, really good
Yes,
question.
a really good question.
We really didn't want to leave it out.
Yes.
So this question is, how do I get my wife on board with the debt snowball? So for those of you that don't know what debt snowball is, it basically means you're paying all your minimum payments, and then any money that you have left over, you're throwing to your smallest debt until it's gone.
Exactly.
And then you start paying on to the next one, on to the next one. So that's kind of like the debt snowball.
Yes.
How do I get my wife on board with the debt snowball?
Good question.
Very good question.
And I guess
because I wasn't on board right away, so I totally understand.
Yeah, so I can kind of expound on this, you guys. So when I first introduced this program to my wife, the Dave Ramsey program, and that snowball that he implements. So you guys, it was hard for me to go home because I was so enthusiastic about this program and getting our family out of debt. My wife wasn't on board because, first it was the fact that she didn't have the information in which I had. She didn't immerse herself in it. That was one aspect of it. And she felt defeated because of the student loans that was hovering over her. She felt burdened about that. So my advice with this is this, you guys: patience, first of all, and communication, and make sure you guys are have a total humongous why of why you're actually getting out of debt. So those three things, you guys: patience, communication, and having a magnificent why that allows both of you guys to be on the same board. Because that's something I had to learn. Because like I was saying before, I was super enthusiastic about the program, but my wife wasn't, because she had no information about it. But so you guys out there, for those who want to get their wife on board, just have patience, you guys, and communicate, and make sure you guys have a dream meeting together. So
yeah, absolutely. And I would say one more thing to add to that is a budget. So when you sit down to do your budget meeting together, it's kind of like an agreement, a contract. So for me, when I thought of like a budget, I always thought of like, oh, this is like a restriction on me. Like I can't go shopping. But I started to learn and find out the more and more that we did the meetings was that it actually gave me permission to spend. So if I wanted to go, buy a compact or buy some lipstick or, things like that, we could just budget in a category and we both can agree on it, and then I can go spend it. So it just made me feel like reassurance that my needs were taken care of,
and our voice was being heard.
My voice was being heard, and really the things that were important to me, that Murph valued that as well. So great question. I did not want to leave that out, so thank you for that. And the last question we will talk about is, does the interest accrue daily on your student loans? And the answer is
absolutely yes. Yes, it does. Yes, for sure. But it's interesting, you guys. These questions are so awesome, and we really appreciate them. And it's awesome to know that you guys are not alone. We've been there. We've done it. We've hit rock bottom moments, and we've hit high moments. But you guys, thank you so much for the questions, and we hope that we answer them to your liking. And we do have one last tip.
Yes. Actually, this
three
was
tips.
This was a question, so we're going to turn it into a conclusion.
Exactly. Yes.
Top 3 tips regarding student loans. So the first tip is, like we talked about before, the debt snowball. Make sure you pay your smallest debt first.
Yes.
And then once that's knocked out, pay the next one. So even if your student loans are not the smallest debt, just make sure you pay minimums on those and focus on the smaller ones. And then, like for us, all of our consumer debt came first, right? So I was like, when we're done with consumer debt, we'll be debt free. But Murph's like, no, babe, your massive, enormous student loan debt is debt.
Exactly.
So we will get to that, and we're gonna finish this, and we're gonna pay it off. So you know, I know those are there and they're massive, large payments.
Yeah.
We had very large monthly payments.
We did.
But
We did.
just pay off your smallest debts first. You'll gain that momentum and excitement.
Exactly.
So that's tip number 1.
And tip number 2, you guys, is try not to leave your student loans in forbearance. And you know, also there is moments that it is good to put in forbearance because of maybe your situation and regards to income, not having enough to pay bills. That's great. But try not to leave it long periods of time in forbearance. The reason why we were kind of talking about it earlier about how the interest is accrued daily and then yearly compound interest takes place. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to make sure that you got to understand that this isn't compound interest working for you, it's working against you guys. And you guys got to make sure that forbearance, like I said, forbearance, it can work in some scenarios. And we've been there. We've done it multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about that federal loan, that $30,000 loan, we ended up paying 11 grand in interest.
Exactly.
11 grand. And the private loan, or the federal loans, I didn't put in forbearance. So just 11,000 without putting that in forbearance. In the matter of a few years, it's like they just steal your money. They just take your money, these student loan companies. But anyways, lastly, tip number 3 would be pay those bad boys off
Fast as possible.
as soon as possible.
My goodness.
Just get them out of your life.
Yeah.
Just work extra jobs. Just any little money that you can throw at it, extra every month, every paycheck, do it. Do it, do it, do it. We are here to tell you that the day will come when you will be done, you will be debt-free.
Absolutely.
And it will be so worth it, and you will sleep better at night.
Oh, yes, you will. You probably won't even know what to do with yourself afterwards.
Absolutely. So anyways, I think that's it,
Yes,
you guys. Thank you for watching, and feel free to send us more questions.
We love y'all and have a wonderful evening, and we'll be in touch. Take
Love
care.
y'all.
Peace.